Issuers of bonds. There are three categories of issuers of bonds. The first is international bonds. International bonds. The second category is government and municipal bonds. The third is our corporate bonds. The first kind of international bond is the Euro bond. Okay, a Euro bond is a bond, right, as long as it is denominated in a currency other than its issued currency. Okay, which means that its denominated currency is different from the issued country. Okay, for example, suppose we have a company which is a Singaporean company, and it decides to issue some US denominated bonds, but it issued these bonds in, say, the Japan market, and let's say in China, and in the Russian market. Alright, so because the issuing countries are Japan, China, and Russia, but the denominated currency is actually USD, in this case this would make it a Euro bond. Now, why would a company do this? It's because it wants to raise capital from countries other than in Singapore itself. Alright, and this gives it the flexibility to choose the country in which it can offer the bond to according to the country's regulatory constraints. Okay, and Euro bonds, they're attractive because they typically have low par values, so that makes it easy for investors to purchase. For example, it's easier to get a $1,000 invest in a $1,000 bond than a $1 million bond. Okay, so because of this, they have high liquidity as well, and which gives issuers flexibility. So do not confuse Euro bond as a European bond or something like that. Just, okay, do not tag it to the Euro currency. It has no relation at all. It's just simply a bond denominated in a currency that is different from the issued country. Now next, we'll be talking about a foreign bond. Okay, a foreign bond is somewhat similar to a Euro bond, except that it's issued in the domestic market, is by a foreign entity and issued in the same domestic market currency. For example, taking the case of the SG company again, says it issue the bond in Japan and in China. Okay, now the bond issued in the Japan market would be denominated in yen, whereas the bond issued in the China market would be denominated in yuan, okay, rather than in USD as per the Euro bond. So in this case, foreign bonds, okay, is still the originating issuer is a foreign entity, Singapore, but it issues them in domestic markets in their domestic currency. For a global bond, now it's very similar to the Euro bond. Okay, it's very similar to the Euro bond, where say it issues bonds in different markets, right? Let's say Japan, China, and Russia. Okay, now this time, let's say by again the Singapore company, but at the same time, this global bond also issues itself in Singapore itself and in the same currency, which is SGD. Okay, and whereas in Japan it would be Japan yen, and in China. Okay, so as long as issued in the same currency as the country of issuance, okay, it's a global bond. Okay, so as mentioned, reasons for international bonds are that, okay, capital can be raised internationally. internationally. Oops, okay. And we can choose which country to raise the capital in, which gives us the flexibility. Alright, and also we can have bonds denominated in preferred currency.